Yo, what's going on, y'all? I want to thank you if you're tuning in. You're listening to Occupy the Media. I'm your host, Paco. All right, so we were talking about some headlines. I think we played the clip about Miami. So yeah, they got military drills being done over in the skies of Miami in the middle of the night. Fake explosions, fake bullets, but it won't be fake for long. And we need to understand that. That's why we need to fight back. You can't be flying around these helicopters. What are y'all doing? They need to stop that. You know what I mean? It's just, what are you preparing for? It's like they just want fear tactics. Make everybody scared. There's always a threat, always a terror threat. All right, so I wanted to jump into this reality check just out in case you missed it. Politicians railing against bailouts, then taking campaign contributions, talking about these fake Tea Party candidates. Let's see what he got to say.
Political candidates who get elected demanding reform but then take money from those they have been rallying against. We all know it happens. And yet a new report out by Bloomberg shows how some Tea Party candidates have been doing just that. But are they alone? Ben has the reality check you won't see anywhere else.
The report out by Bloomberg News points to a serious problem when it comes to the positions of some Tea Party candidates and who they've been accepting money from. The report from Bloomberg took a look at 10 Tea Party-backed freshmen on the House Financial Services Committee, part of a force that won election in a populist backlash to government spending that included emergency lending to major banks and bailout of firms including U.S. automakers. The report states that those 10, though they were against the bailout of the auto industry, have not introduced any legislation about too big to fail banks. Bloomberg claims the messaging of Republican candidates during the campaign cycle of 2009 and 2010 has dissipated. Those same lawmakers are now collecting money from the firms bailed out by President George W. Bush's $700 billion Troubled Asset Relief Program, or TARP. So what are we talking about here? Well, 5 banks: J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, and Goldman Sachs. They held $8.5 trillion in assets at the end of 2011. Combined, those institutions took $150 billion in bailout money in 2008, and they did repay it by the end of the next year. The political action committees of those institutions have now distributed $169,000, a little more than that, through March 31st to the campaign coffers of those 10 freshman Tea Party-backed lawmakers, again, who are on the House Financial Services Committee. The story goes on to talk about each of these 10 Tea Party-backed freshmen, but for the sake of time here, we'll look at one. Stephen Fincher, a congressman from Tennessee. Fincher promised as a candidate to help Main Street and to ensure that there would be no more Wall Street bailouts. It was in an advertisement that ran 98 times in the Nashville market. It was in the run-up to his victory in a district that had previously been held by a Democrat since 1988. And yet, Fincher has received $11,500 from the political action committees run by Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan Chase, and Wells Fargo. Now, what Bloomberg fails to mention in this report is that President Obama has done and does the exact same thing. He has railed against the excesses of Wall Street, but then holds multiple campaign fundraisers with Wall Street executives. Though this year, there is less interest in giving the president money. You see, employees of Goldman Sachs, for instance, in 2008, they gave President Obama over $1 million. It was more than donors from any other private employer in the country. But so far this year, those employees have given him only about $45,000. But overall, Wall Street firms had given the president just over $270,000 for his campaign. And those figures do not account for all Wall Street giving, nor do they account for the full force of each candidate's robust network of what are called Wall Street bundlers, wealthy individuals who raise money from friends, family members, and business associates. So here's what you need to know. The problem isn't a Democratic or Republican problem. It is a systemic problem with the way campaigns are run in this country. Influence peddling is alive and well. At the end of the day, politicians may go to Washington to stand for the people, but far too many of them seem to stay in Washington by accepting funds from only a few. And that is Reality Check.
If you would like to make your voice heard on the story, you can head over to Ben's Facebook page. Find it by simply searching Ben Swann, WXIX.
You see, these politicians ain't for smaller government and free markets. They want bailouts. They want more money. And they want it for cheap. They want it for free. And they want it from us. right away. That's why they tax us to death, devalue our money, bail out their buddies. Meanwhile, we're not getting bailed out. We're stuck with the bill, struggling just to get by. But, you know, that's another politician. That's how all of them are. Ron Paul and a few others are just the exception. And that's why people need to be out there fighting for him. You know, I was talking to somebody yesterday about it, but he said that he didn't want to, he said that he liked Ron Paul. He happened to know a lot about Ron Paul, actually. He was actually an pretty informed dude. And, but he wouldn't register as a Republican. He's like, nah, I'll definitely pick him over Obama if he gets the nominee. And this is what I mean. It's like we have to fight for it now. You know, we have to be the ones to, if you're educated like he was, and then it's your duty, it's your job to get out there and spread the message. You see, people who don't know the message, they can't spread it, so we can't expect them to. You know, all we can do is try to hopefully do something to turn that switch on, turn that light on in their head. But if you already know, like if I'm talking to you at a table, an event, and everything that I'm telling you, you already know, or you're starting to tell me stuff that I was ready to tell you. It's like you're already informed. You already know what's going on. You know about NDAA, CISPA, all of that. Then what's the problem? Sign up. We got to register. We got to vote. This is it. This is what we have to do. This is how we take it over. We have to be on it, man. We got to. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting to report this. I wanted to say somebody put a video up on YouTube. Ron Paul delegates dominate Washington State. You could check that out on YouTube. Now, I'm going to read you what he put here in the description, because basically what the guy does is he's reading off of the, actual caucus results read straight from the sheets that were filled out by Ron Paul supporters at one of the Thurston County pooled caucuses. Okay? And he reads off the sheets, and what they have here is Ron Paul with 75 delegates, 41 alternates. Mitt Romney at 15 delegates, 12 alternates. Santorum at 12 delegates, 5 alternates. Gingrich at 3 delegates, 5 alternates. Now that sounds more believable. You know, that definitely that's numbers like that sound more believable. And Ron Paul is obviously in the lead because we have the majority everywhere. You know, we get the most money from small donors. What do we have? We sell the most campaign, signs and stickers and bumper stickers and all that stuff. And we got the biggest crowds, not to mention. And we only do it in a few days' notice. You know, Ron Paul be like, oh, by the way, next week, I'm coming to San Diego. Bow! 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people. You know, by the way, I'm coming to UCLA. Boom, 7,000, 8,000. So, I mean, Romney couldn't do that if people had a whole year. They knew about him coming for a whole year. I think he's supposed to be speaking to Liberty University soon, too. We were talking about that, how CNN was afraid. What if he gets booed? Good. I hope they do boo him. He needs to get booed. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we're headed to the end of this hour, y'all. I'm going to be in the next hour. Don't forget I'm on every day from 10 to noon Eastern Time and 3 to 5 Eastern Time as well. You guys can chat with me on RonPaulRadio.com. Just click on Listen Live and the chat should come up. Also on Facebook, Paco Elijah is my Facebook. On YouTube, Paco757. And on Twitter, Occupy the MSM. So I think we're going to come back. I think we'll play a couple more clips. See if we got some more headlines going on for you. And don't forget, donate. RonPaul2012.com. We got to keep Ron Paul going. Check out also grassroots websites, RonPaulTribune.com, RiseForRonPaul.com, LibertarianReview.us. If you haven't joined already, watch the Vote 2012. And what else we got? LA Liberty HQ on Facebook. If you're in the Los Angeles area, we need you to join, volunteer. Also, if you don't want to go on Facebook, you can go to RonPaulLosAngeles.com, RonPaulLosAngeles.com. And, yeah, man, sign up, volunteer. We had a Pasadena College event yesterday. That was pretty cool. Got to talk to some people. All right, so stay tuned for the next hour. I'll be back.